Wow, this is a nice suite. Let's open another window.
Well, there aren't any more.
How about we telephone for an axe?
Well, the best way to forget about the heat is to stop crabbing about it.
Why don't you let her alone, old sport? You're the only one that wanted to come to this town.
So, all this old sport business, where did you pick that up from?
Tom, if you're gonna make up more personal remarks, I won't stay here any longer. Go call for some more drinks.
Wow, can't imagine marrying anybody in this heat, right?
So, by the way, Mr. Gatsby, I hear you're an Oxford man. Is that true?
To an extent, yeah.
Well, I realize that. I'd just like to know when.
Well, it was 1919, and I only stayed 5 months. That's why I really can't call myself an Oxford man. It was a chance they gave to some of the officers after the armistice. We could go to any university in either England or France.
Is there another way to open this window?
So hold on. Wait a minute. I need to ask Mr. Gatsby one more question.
Go on.
What kind of a row are you trying to start in my house anyways?
He's not causing a row. You're causing a row. Have a little self-control.
Self-control? I suppose the latest thing is to sit back and let Mr. Nobody from nowhere make love to your wife? Well, if that's the idea, then you can count me out. People begin by sneering into family life, and the next thing you know, everything's overboard, and they're having intermarriage between black and white.
Well, we're all white here.
I know I'm not very popular. I don't throw big parties. I suppose that you gotta make your house into a pigsty in order for you to have any friends.
Alright. I got something to tell you, old sport.
Please don't. Please, let's just go home. Why don't we just go home? I think that's a good idea. Tom?
No. I want to know what Mr. Gatsby has to tell me.
Your wife doesn't love you. She never loved you. She loves me.
You must be crazy.
She never loved you. Do you hear? She only married you because I was poor and she was tired of waiting for me. It was a terrible mistake, but she knew that in her heart, she only loved me.
Sit down, Daisy. What's been going on? I want to hear all about it.
I told you what's been going on. It's been going on for 5 years, and you didn't know.
You've been seeing this fellow for 5 years?
No, we couldn't meet. But both of us loved each other all that time, old sport, and you didn't know.
Oh, that's all?
You're revolting. Do you even know why we left Chicago?
Daisy, that's all over now. Just tell him the truth. Tell him you never loved him.
Why, how could I possibly love him? I never loved him. You want too much. I love you now. Isn't that enough? I can't help what's the past. I did love him once, but I love you now too.
Listen here. There's things between me and Daisy that you'll never know. Things that neither of us can forget.
I want to speak to Daisy alone.
Even alone, I can't say I never loved him. It wouldn't be true.
Of course it wouldn't.
As if it mattered to you.
Of course it matters. From now on, I'm going to take much better care of you.
No, you won't. You won't be taking care of her anymore.
I'm not? And why is that?
She's leaving you.
Nonsense!
I am, though.
She's not leaving me. And certainly not for a guy like you.
Please, Tom, I can't stand this anymore.
You two go home in Mr. Gatsby's car.
It was 7 o'clock when they got into the coupe with him and started for Long Island. Tom talked incessantly, exulting and laughing, but his voice was as remote from Jordan and Nick as the foreign clamor on the sidewalk or the tumult of the elevated overhead. Human sympathy has its limits, and they were content to let all their tragic arguments fade with the city's light behind. 30. The promise of a decade of loneliness, a thinning list of single men to know, a thinning briefcase of enthusiasm, thinning hair. But there was Jordan beside Nick, who, unlike Daisy, was too wise ever to carry well-forgotten dreams from age to age. As they passed over the dark bridge, her wan face fell lazily against Nick's coat's shoulder, and the formidable stroke of 30 died away with the reassuring pressure of her hand. so they drove on toward death through the cooling twilight.